these inexpensive Amazon little air inflators. This is the Neakhmer. I have no idea how you would pronounce that, but it's a dual piston, a little air inflator. It's actually quite good for what it is. Of course, with any of these inflators, there is one little drawback, and is that they run off a cigarette lighter plug. So, yeah. Well, the biggest problem is they get so hot, they melt the plug, and then it either A, destroys this plug, B, destroys your cigarette lighter plug in your automobile because it overheats. So what happens is this little spring is part of the fuse holder, and this little piece of shit can't carry the current that this thing requires, because this thing can draw up to about 20 amps, and your little cigarette lighter in your car is only maybe 10 at best. So eventually, in a pinch, it might get you enough air to, get yourself out of a jam. But if you're going to bring it all the way up to your, recommended tire pressure, more than likely you're going to melt your plug. And if you don't on the first try, eventually you will, because I've done several tires and now it's shot. So the best thing to do is to always run these directly off the battery. And luckily with this particular inflator, it gives you your crock clips for your battery. Problem is, it still gives you this. You still running it off a piece of crap cigarette lighter. So since I melted mine and I still have this adapter, I'm gonna chop the ends off and hook it direct. So let's make it happen. So on the wire here, you got, of course, this used to be the cigarette plug, so you could just pretend the jacket is on the outside. So this is your negative, this is your positive, because that's where your fuse holder would be. And for this particular scenario, the grooved, there's a rib side of the wire. That's going to be the positive, so that's going to be easy to figure out. So nothing else other than do is chop it off. So we're going to chop these off, and we're going to save as much wire because we want as much length as possible. And we're going to take the little strain relief off, and then we're going to go ahead and strip these wires. So now we got the wire stripped for the air compressor side. So now all we got to do is split the wire a little bit. So you can just take a knife, because now if you need more length, you can just split it down the middle. And then we'll get that twisted. So that's that side. So in the meantime, I'm going to solder the wires together. So I'm going to use my little butane torch and get that warmed up. It only takes a couple of minutes, a minute or two to warm that up. Now we'll do the other side. So we'll get rid of this plug. And we'll strip the wires. Because now with the crock clips available now full time, gives you a little bit more options to power this. So we'll just twist the wires together here. And since I'm going to solder, I'm going to heat shrink them. So we'll get some heat shrink out here. And we'll take this, and since it's a not a new piece. We'll just split it in half. Get them ready, and then we can go ahead and put these on the wire. Actually, what I should do is make it really nice and professional looking. Get a nice big piece. And we'll put the big piece over the two little pieces, like such. And then we'll take these two pieces, get them ready. Get them twisted and them twisted. Now we'll take the other end, and like I mentioned earlier, the rib sides are the positive sides. So we'll twist these two together. It'll make a nice mechanical bond. Now we'll just solder them up. Get some solder. Just like that, done. Now I'll just slide these two little guys over the splices. And we'll get our little jet torch out. Now we'll put the big piece over the other two pieces. Nice, easy repair. So now we have a permanent bond. The solder will not break. You'll break the wire before the solder breaks. That's for sure. And it looks nice and professional. We still have our crock clips, which is your preferred method for running one of these for a long duration, because I have used this. Even if you're bringing up tires from, let's just say, in my instance, you know, around 35 psi to about 41, you might be able to get away with 1 or 2 tires. But if you try to do 04 through the cigarette lighter, it ain't gonna happen. Trust me. And I have used this compressor for a lot higher pressure tires, and I'm surprised it lasted this long. I did a 2, 4, 6-wheeler. So I did about 2, maybe twice on a 6-wheeler, bringing up to whatever PSI to 65, which is really making this thing hump. I mean, Yeah, you can only do a tire at a time because you need to take care of the motor here, because it's not an air cooled motor. It's kind of like convection cooled crap like that. So if you bring something up to like 65, you can only do one tire at a time. Then you gotta let it cool, do it again, blah blah blah. But your regular passenger vehicle, even a light truck, should be able to do all four without uh, destroying this thing. So um, this is one of them nice air inflators where you set it and forget it. So when you power it up, you set your pressure, and it gives you a little LED light in case you're in the dark, blah, blah, blah. From the factory, it forces you to use a cigarette lighter. Believe me, you do not want to use your cigarette lighter. Just use the crock clips and run it off your battery. There's enough cord between your little pigtail extension and the inflator itself. You should have enough cord to even reach an extended cab truck, all four tires and stuff like that. So now, like I mentioned, now that you run this, for me, I'm going to be running this off of a direct battery, which is my preferred. But now, what happens if you don't have a battery on hand? What do? Well, you're out in the field or something like that, and you need to pump something up. Now you can use something like your boost packs. So for me, my little Noco GBX45 got more than enough gonads to run this little thing. So of course it's got its own little crock clips. So we'll just plug in the Noco, because now we're 100% mobile now. And of course with the Nocos, you need to power it up and then hit your override button. So until your little 12-volt override button is flashing. Now it's just a matter of just hooking up the crock clips, polarity sensitive. You don't want to blow nothing up. So now we have power. As you can see, my display is lit up, and I got my little light in case you need it. Then you can set your PSI to whatever your poison is, and then you can go ahead and fire it up. Oh yeah, baby! And then when it reaches your PSI, it shuts off automatically. So, a little DIY air inflator hack. Then you can just take it apart, blah blah blah, and store it back up in its little hidey hole. Of course, I already conveniently got a knot in it, but we can fix that. We'll get the cord stretched out here a little bit. And then as we wrap it up, we'll do one loop, and then an underhand loop, and then an overhand, and an underhand, overhand, underhand, overhand, underhand, overhand, and back to the last loop here. Then you can take a twist tie or one of them Velcro straps or something like that and tie it back up. This one's not big enough. But it's all ready for next time, and it's all portable. So, you can keep this stuff in your car. Of course you're going to keep your inflator in your car. If you're smart, you always have a jump pack. So in case, you got a dead battery, you got your jump pack. In case you got a flat tire or a low tire. If you don't already have a patch kit, or a tire plug kit, keep one of them in your car. So keep a boost pack in your car, keep a tire plug kit in your car, and keep an inflator, and probably 95% of the time you'll get yourself out of your own jam. So hope you learned something, how to modify your inflator that is supposed to run off a 12-volt cigarette lighter. Eliminate that garbage and just hook it up direct to your battery. Even if you got to make your own extension cable and just have crock clips, they're easy. You can easily find them on Amazon. You can get the wire on Amazon. You can get a cheap, inexpensive soldering gun or soldering pen from Amazon, and you can have something like this that's 100% reliable, and you won't have to worry about these stupid little springs getting so hot that they collapse, and then you're out of luck. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.